Hello and welcome live from New Delhi. You're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Gautam Roy, and coming up in the next 30 minutes, at least 41 workers killed and over 50 injured in a building blaze in southern Kuwait's Mangaf city. Most victims are reported to be Indians. Indian ambassador visits the site and the hospital where the victims are admitted. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi is to travel to Italy to attend the outreach session of the G7 summit. This will be his first overseas visit after taking oath of office for the third successive term. French President Emmanuel Macron urges rival parties on both sides of the political centre to join him in forging an alliance against the far-right National Party, says announcing snap elections was the only path forward. And the Indian Football Federation writes to FIFA and the Asian Football Confederation seeking a probe into a controversial goal scored against the Indian team by Qatar in a World Cup qualifier match on Tuesday. At least 41 people have been killed in a fire that broke out in a building housing workers in Kuwait's Mangaf city. According to reports, majority of those killed are believed to be Indians. An investigation has been launched to ascertain the cause of the fire. India's ambassador to Kuwait, Adarsh Swaika, visited the hospital where over 30 injured Indian workers have been admitted. And there on the screen for you is the helpline number issued by the Indian Embassy for anyone who is seeking assistance or information related to this tragedy. And India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi has expressed grief over the incident. Taking to X, he said, and I quote, "The fire mishap in Kuwait City is saddening. My thoughts are with all those who've lost their near and dear ones. I pray that the injured recover at the earliest." The Indian Embassy in Kuwait is closely monitoring the situation and working with the authorities there to assist the affected. And External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar has also expressed condolences to the families of the deceased. He said, and I quote again on X, "Deepest condolences to the families of those who tragically lost their lives. Wish early and full recovery to those who have been injured. Our embassy will render the fullest assistance to all concerned in this regard." Meanwhile, Kuwait's Deputy Prime Minister Sheikh Fahad Yusuf Al Sabah has accused real estate developers of violating building laws leading to safety hazards.
Unfortunately, the greed of the property owners is what leads to these matters. I will call the Director of Municipalities and we will talk to all property owners. Any property violation will be removed.
Let's get you more on this with DD India's Meghna Dev joining me. Thanks for being with us, Meghna. What are the details that you can share with us about this tragedy in terms of what caused it, the status of the people affected and the measures being taken to take care of the survivors? We seem to be having some trouble taking this up, getting in touch with Meghna at the moment. We'll try and reconnect as and when she is through to us. For the moment, let's move on. French President Emmanuel Macron has said that calling for snap elections was the only way forward amidst the far-right's strong showing in last weekend's European elections. Macron added that the elections would provide clarity. The French president has also urged rival parties on both sides of the political centre to join him in forging a democratic alliance against Marine Le Pen's far-right national rally in the upcoming snap legislative elections.
I took note of a blockade in Parliament which was inevitably leading to preventing the government to act, which was becoming dangerous for France. And we must provide a democratic response. This is why the response, in my view, could not be in the form of changes in government or coalitions, which were not possible in Parliament anyway, and the last few days have shown this very clearly. But it necessitated a dissolution as the only way to clarify things.
And France has also suspended planned electoral reform in its overseas territory of New Caledonia. The reform that ignited civil unrest on the Indo-Pacific archipelago last month resulted in several deaths. According to the reform, the amendment would expand New Caledonia's electorate to include recent French arrivals. Some indigenous Kanaks believe the change will dilute their vote and risk any future referendum on independence. Well, the European Parliament elections have plunged several European governments into crisis mode. After being roundly defeated, French President Emmanuel Macron announced a new election for the French Parliament. German Chancellor Scholz has also had to face up to the clear drubbing of his coalition government. Meanwhile, far-right parties are celebrating their gains and preparing for a European Parliament where they may have considerable influence. DW's Thomas Sparrow reports from Berlin.
In particular, the European Parliament elections here in Germany showed that German voters want a shift towards the right. The main party that won the European Parliament elections here in Germany was the conservative bloc CDU-CSU, followed by the far-right Alternative for Germany, and in particular, the far-right Alternative for Germany garnered support from younger voters. And there are several reasons that explain this. One is a general discontent among younger voters that are worried about the direction the country is going in, that they're worried about the economic situation, that they're still affected by crises in the last few years. And that is something that taps into what the AfD as a party also presents. The second element is a particular discontent towards the Green Party among younger voters. The Green Party in the 2019 parliamentary elections came or had very good results, in particular because younger voters supported the Green Party and in particular supported the fight against climate change. Climate change this time around was not as big a topic as it was in 2019, and in particular there's discontent among younger voters because the Green Party is also part of that coalition government at a federal level which is being criticised, which does not have good polling numbers. The third element when it comes to younger voters is that they also went to smaller parties. So they basically rejected, to a large extent, big traditional parties, and in particular those parties that are in government, and went to smaller parties. And that also helps to explain why, in general, the results came in as they came in, with the AfD as a party that really gained a lot of support from younger voters in Germany.
And continuing his Middle East tour, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken arrived in Doha on Wednesday to meet Qatari leaders. A day earlier, Blinken announced more than $400 million in humanitarian aid to Palestinians at a conference and called for other donors to also step up. Blinken also met Israeli officials in Tel Aviv in a push to end the 8-month-old Israeli air and ground offensive against Hamas. The European Commission on Wednesday said it would apply additional duties of up to 38.1% on imported Chinese electric vehicles from next month. European Commission Vice President said that Chinese-built cars were benefiting from unfair levels of subsidies, threatening EU producers.
Today at the College, Executive Vice President Valdis Dombrovskis presented to the College the provisional results of the ongoing investigation into the battery electric vehicles value chain in China. In particular, this value chain benefits from unfair subsidiarization, which is causing a threat of economic injury to EU battery electric vehicles producers. The Commission has also pre-disclosed today the level of provisional countervailing duties it would impose on imports of battery electric vehicles from China.
Okay, let's go back to our top story now, where we informed you about a tragic incident taking place in Kuwait due to a building fire where over 40 people, 41 to the last count, have been killed and over 50 injured, most of them Indians. Meghna Dev, my colleague, joins us for more on this. Meghna, what more information do you have about this incident and what is being done to respond to it at both the Indian government level and the Kuwaiti government level?
Well, as of now, the latest update that I can bring to our viewers, Gautam, is that Kirti Singh, the Minister of State for External Affairs, is urgently traveling to Kuwait, to look over the situation there and obviously to help in the assistance of the people, of especially the Indians who are injured and who are undergoing treatment in different hospitals in Kuwait. So this is the latest that we have as of now, that the Minister of State for External Affairs, Kirti Singh, is traveling to Kuwait. And when we ask the ministry officials, they have been telling us that he will be leaving as soon as possible for Kuwait. Now, obviously, we know that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has also said that the situation is very saddening, and our embassy there, Ambassador Adarsh, is, has been visiting the site of the incident as well. Besides that, he has been also meeting the people who are admitted in hospitals. About 30 people, 30 Indians are admitted in different hospitals near that area, and they are undergoing treatment. While it is being said that all the 30 who are admitted in hospitals are currently stable, but definitely the number of over 40 people have died, and it is feared that most of them are Indians. And what reports are also suggesting that there were about 140 to 160 people living in that building. Most of them were Indians. Now, we definitely know that there are many skilled and unskilled workers in Kuwait. So, all of these people were, living in that building, and which has caught fire. What we are also being told that the reason of fire in different, through media reports, we can ascertain that the fire started around 4 a.m. in the morning, Wednesday morning. And what we also can see from different media reports is that it is being said that the reason of the fire can be a gas cylinder as of now, but definitely the Kuwaiti administration or the department, and especially the municipal corporation, is also trying to figure out what exactly happened. So this is the situation as of now. Definitely people, many people have died, and it is the embassy is on its toes to see that whatever best assistance that the embassy can offer to the deceased as well as to the people who are undergoing treatment.
Yes, in terms of assistance, a helpline number has also been issued, but a minister travelling there just tells us the extent of the tragedy itself in terms of not just the numbers, but even the situation that has been generated out of it, because you have to identify all those people and inform their families, those who have been killed, and then there are these survivors, and one has to ensure that they also recover.
Yes, the Ministry of External Affairs currently, Gautam, has put out a tweet where they have said that the minister is also going to coordinate with local authorities for early repatriation of mortal remains of those who have died in this unfortunate incident. So as you were saying, identifying the mortal remains is also a very important, or we can say a very difficult and gruesome task for that matter, because when we're talking here, we are talking about burns. We are not talking about, other kind of deaths which happened during maybe a fight or something like that. This is a situation where the body is burnt. It has, there are different kinds of degrees of burn, which makes it difficult for the medics or paramedics or the forensic teams to identify the body as well. So definitely it is a tough task, and bringing back the mortal remains in itself is important, obviously. Besides that, a number of paperwork also needs to be done. So maybe that is one of the important reasons that the minister has been sent urgently to Kuwait. Having said that, we definitely know a number of blue-collar workers from India. Indians are also one of the biggest expatriate community in Kuwait. For that matter, 1 million strong expatriate community in Kuwait. So that makes it one of the biggest. Besides that, there are a number of people who are working in different sectors, be it accountancy, IT, most of them in the IT sector. But the largest portion of the expatriate community is the skilled, unskilled workers who are there in Kuwait. Now, through media reports also, we get to know that quite a few of them are from the southern part of India who are working there and who have been caught under this unfortunate incident. So we'll definitely have more details once officially the details would come out, because in such situations, which is very dynamic, the official details take quite time to come out, because it has to be verified, and then it also has to be verified with the embassy as well as the Kuwaiti administration and officials.
Right, and I believe a probe has also been ordered, because we've already
Yes.
heard a high-level Kuwaiti official minister, in fact, saying that there are certain people who can be blamed for this incident to take place. What do we know more about, in terms of where this fire has taken place and the profile of these workers?
So what we definitely get to know through reports that the first Deputy Prime Minister, Sheikh Fahad Al-Yusuf, has ordered that all the labor camps, any violations that is happening in such labor camps, this was also a labor camp where there were about 140 to 160 people who were living. So all these labor camps violations will be checked in these places. Also, in this particular camp where this unfortunate incident has taken place, the person who owns this place will also be taken in for interrogation, and action will be taken against him. Besides that, also, there is a specific number that you cannot probably accommodate more than these people in such kind of camps. So all of that violations will also be taken into consideration. Besides that, also, now it is being said that the minister has given instructions to officials so that they can do a checking or an invigilation of all such camps or such labor camps which are in the area and which are there in Kuwait. So that all the safety protocols are in place. Now, what we also get to understand that the overcrowding of workers in such camps will also be checked. So this is something that the administration or probably the officials in Kuwait have, probably stepped up to probably check the violations or overcrowding or any other safety measure that is not taken into consideration, and many people are living in such camps. So all of this is being said. The minister has said that they will be checking all of these as well.
Okay.
So action is being taken, probably we can say, after such a massive, unfortunate, tragic incident. Now action is being taken to ensure that it does not, such incident does not occur at other places.
Yes, it may have been too late for these unfortunate people. Over 40 of them, 41 to the last count, and this toll could even go up. But hopefully for the future, things will change for the lot of these Indian workers working in trying conditions in certain foreign nations like Kuwait. Now, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi will travel to Italy on Thursday to attend the Group of Seven summit in his first overseas visit after assuming office for the third time. Prime Minister Modi would join global leaders in attending the G7 summit, which is being held in Italy's Borgo Egnazia from the 13th of this month till the 15th. DD India's Amritpal Singh reports from Apulia in Italy.
Days after assuming office, Prime Minister Modi will make a day-long visit to Italy to participate in the G7 summit on June 14th. Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni had extended an invitation to Prime Minister Modi to attend the G7 summit under her presidency of the global bloc.
The visit assumes a significance as this will be Honourable Prime Minister's first overseas travel after assuming office in his third consecutive term. It will also afford him an opportunity to engage with other world leaders present at the G7 summit on issues of importance to India as also to the global south. Prime Minister will participate in the outreach session along with the other countries invited for the outreach summit.
As world leaders gather here in the picturesque settings by the Adriatic Sea, Prime Minister Modi will be holding bilateral meetings with G7 leaders, including with US President Joe Biden and UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, as also with his Italian counterpart Giorgia Meloni. The Prime Minister on Friday will address an outreach session where he'll address issues related to food security, health and development. Prime Minister Modi will also hold bilateral meetings with his counterparts from other G7 partner countries. The Prime Minister is expected to address issues of the global south, development and climate change.
Meeting between the two Prime Ministers will be a great opportunity to see what has been done in the bilateral ties in the last 2-3 years, but also to give it a more strategic dimension. Participating countries, both the G7 and the partners, will have an opportunity to discuss the important economic issues that are on the global table, and also they will discuss some of the key regional and global issues on the agenda.
The G7 summit is a grouping of the world's 7 most developed economies that include Canada, France, Germany, Japan, the United Kingdom and the United States of America as its member nations. As the Italy summit is largely focused on the ongoing conflicts in West Asia and Ukraine, the G7 is likely to adopt its plan of funding the Ukrainian war chest through frozen Russian assets. India, on its part, would like to stay away from any such move that directly incriminates Russia, thus reiterating its long-standing position that the way forward is through dialogue and diplomacy and not through war. With cameraman Shailendra Chauhan, this is Amritpal Singh in Borgo Enazia, Italy.
The 2 terrorists who'd opened fire in a village in India's union territory of Jammu and Kashmir's Rightward district last night have been killed in an encounter. After a 20-hour joint operation involving the Army, CRPF and Jammu and Kashmir Police, both armed terrorists were successfully neutralized.
But one feels like
a significant cache of arms and ammunition, Indian currency, medicines and other equipment were also confiscated from the terrorists' possession. Additional Director General of Police of Jammu Zone, Anand Jain, said that a house-to-house search is underway with the assistance of the CRPF. Mohan Charan Majhi took oath as Chief Minister of the Eastern Indian state of Odisha earlier on Wednesday. Prime Minister Narendra Modi attended the swearing-in ceremony of the new state government. The 4-time member of Legislative Assembly is a prominent tribal leader. Majhi was a teacher in his locality before entering politics. Sports now, and onto football. The All India Football Federation has lodged a complaint to the FIFA and the Asian Football Confederation. It has sought a detailed probe into the controversial goal that Qatar scored during a pivotal FIFA World Cup qualifier in Doha. The goal was allowed by South Korean referee Kim Boo-sung, despite the ball clearly going out of play during the must-win match that India lost 1-2. The defeat denied India its maiden entry into the 3rd round of the FIFA World Cup qualifiers for the 2026 edition. India will take on co-host United States of America in Long Island with an eye on the Super 8 spot in ICC Men's T20 World Cup on Wednesday. India will be coming into the game as a runaway favourites, winning 2 back-to-back matches. Helped by the surfaces India have played on, their bowlers have been impeccable. Led by the peerless Jasprit Bumrah, who bagged the Player of the Match award in both the games so far in the tournament, they bowled out Ireland for 96 before successfully defending 119 against Pakistan. Meanwhile, the United States national cricket team has already made a significant impact in the game's hierarchy by defeating Pakistan after a super over in Dallas last Thursday. And that's all we have in this edition of DD India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and access the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS. You can scan the QR code that's there on the screen and download the app now. And we'll be back with more news and updates as the break here on DD India. I'm Gautam Roy, and from all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Live.